All right. Hi, I'm Haley Hicks. I am a varsity member here on the Overwatch team at Ball State. I don't know what that is. Is it on? Okay. Yeah, so welcome. I'm also a freshman here. And I just wanted to welcome you all to the Ball State University Esports Center household in the Rahal Building in the College of Communications, Information, and Media. Today, here I have with me Vince Welch. He's a national broadcaster for Fox Sports and a Ball State alumni.
Thank you, Haley. Haley mentioned a Ball State alum, graduated in 1986 from here, and this department at that time was, for those of you old enough to remember, over in the old English building, and just kind of a basement hallway with a couple of classrooms and the WBST studios there. And one of the highlights of my time here at Ball State was the introduction of the David Letterman Scholarship. And that happened while I was a student here. And Dave, I think the tagline was to the C students eligible for a C student. And I didn't even sniff that. So I aspired to be a C student, but look what happened. Here I am again, and so thrilled to be here. This is a great honor for me to come back to Ball State University. When I do, I still live in the Indianapolis area, and it still seems like every time I come back, something new has popped up, a new building, a new program, and then to be able to come in here and see this facility is just phenomenal. Over 36,000 square feet, and it represents Ball State's commitment to providing hands-on opportunities in the esports world, and the hands-on opportunities begin day one. You come in as a freshman, as Haley is, and you get an opportunity right away. And at so many universities, you don't get that chance as a freshman when you walk on campus. And what Dean Turner and Chris Taylor have done with the SportsLink program is just absolutely phenomenal. And I think this is just a classic example of some of the great progress that's being made, not just in this department, but university-wide. Ball State's a founding member of the Esports Collegiate Conference. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. The conference fields teams in the League of Legends. I think many of, even if you're not a big gamer, you've heard of the League of Legends, the Rocket League and Overwatch divisions. And the varsity teams here at Ball State compete on this state-of-the-art elevated gameplay that you see up here, and you're going to learn a lot more about. I'd like to have Haley come up again because she is immersed in this facility and in this program. And Haley, maybe if you can just talk a little bit about what this facility means to you and what's your experience been like as a freshman coming on campus here at Ball State and having this accessibility.
So I first came across this room by accident, actually, looking for one of my other classes. And as a person who has loved video games my entire life, I came in, I was a little nervous. You know, I always have to read the room. And everyone is super welcoming. I met Dan, he was super nice. I tried out, learned that they had an Overwatch team, really interesting. Ended up making the team. And I've kind of been here ever since. It's a really good safe space, I would say. Like if you had a long day of classes, this is just a good place that you can come in, de-stress, just hang out with your friends and be a part of a team. It's very welcoming. It's a very good room. I really appreciate Dan for having all this nice equipment and letting us use it. It took a while to set up. But more about this room, I would say, is it's in not just is it an esports platform, but it's also an interactive classroom. It has smart displays provided with the cutting-edge educational space for courses in animation, multimedia, and esports production. There are like classes held back there at those computers and those. It's pretty big. After class, this becomes a community space where the BSU Esports Club with over 700 students can compete. And we are also honored to welcome in community partners such as the De La Belle Community Schools, Boys and Girls Club, and our local Girl Scouts who earn their badges in esports, which is pretty cool. Yeah, but with that, it's a really cool space. It's getting bigger and bigger as like time goes on. When I first tried out here, there was like 40, 50 people just trying out for Overwatch. So it's really cool to see how it grows. And I'm just a freshman here, so I know it's going to get bigger. And it's really cool to just learn more about the community.
It's a lot different than Pong. Anybody remember Pong? Yeah. We'd like at this time to bring up the 17th president of Ball State University, and it's an honor to have President Jeffrey Mearns here with us, and for him to show his support of this great program and all the great things that he has already done as president of the university. And we welcome him to this event today. President.
Thank you, Vince, and we're really pleased that you've decided to come back to campus and participate in this event. So thank you very much. So I have the good fortune to, to serve as the president here at Ball State, and one of the reasons I say I have that good fortune is because of our engaged and enthusiastic students and the facilities that were like this one that we're able to provide for them. So in a moment, Dean Turner, Paige Turner, is going to speak about a key component of the partnership that we're going to announce today. And what we are going to announce with our friends at Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing is an innovative partnership that will benefit our students. And I want to begin by expressing my appreciation to all of the members of the RLL team. Tom, thank you for your support. Thank you for being with us today. And thank you for helping us to create this partnership, which I know will generate increasing interest and enthusiasm from students across many disciplines. Also, Dave, thank you so much for coming back to campus. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have you on our campus. And it also, I know you've had an opportunity not just here, but earlier in the day to meet with our students. And that is what truly makes your visit so special, is your engagement and your enthusiasm, genuine enthusiasm for engaging with them. Thank you. So Jack and Christian, I know you've been practicing. Where Jack and they're back there in the back getting ready. Thank you for joining us today. They're going to put on a little demonstration for all of us a little later this afternoon. Thank you for taking the time to come here and celebrate this partnership with us and to show off your driving skills on those simulators. So when I have an opportunity to speak at special events like this, I often and regularly speak about our commitment to our enduring values, the enduring values that I believe make our university distinctive. And one of those enduring values is innovation. And this program is a perfect example of our commitment to being creative and innovative. And Dave, as you were saying earlier, not being behind the curve, but setting the pace and being ahead of the curve. And the creation of this varsity esports program and our esports production concentration is really a tangible demonstration of that commitment to that enduring value. And then in just a moment, Dean Turner is going to come up here. Susanna Rivera Mills has done a wonderful job in attracting deans to our campus who will lead by way of innovation. And so Dean Turner has pursued these kind of creative opportunities that will allow us to build and grow our burgeoning esports program. And so look forward in the years to come to coming back to this room and seeing what we're doing with the Rahal Letterman Lanigan racing team, because this program is so beneficial for our students. So thank you all for joining us today. And Vince, I'll turn it back to you.
You've heard Paige Turner's name mentioned a couple of times, and I'd like to have her come up. Certainly an integral part in this entire process, and our Dean, Paige Turner.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, but I have no idea what any of this equipment actually does. But I do know that esports is a growing multi-billion-dollar industry, and the College of Communication Information Media is proud to support it across the university. We want to prepare our students not just to succeed, but to thrive. And as esports continues to become part of our university in new and exciting ways, we are committed to providing our students with the skills and opportunities necessary to prepare them into fulfilling careers and meaningful lives. And this is in every area. This includes media, film production, news, sports administration, business, and animation, because we are going to meet the needs of this explosive industry in the way that Ball State University always rises to meet the needs of our community. With the establishment of our esports center and programs, Ball State has committed to this, and it's because of our collaborations with industry that we're going to be able to fly. So, it is my honor to announce our new partnership with Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing, with the establishment of the Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing Scholarship. RLL has generously provided a $5,000 scholarship for 2 members of the Ball State's University Esports team starting this fall 2022. This 4-year scholarship, that's a 4-year commitment to the success of our students, will advance the program's mission of recruiting and retaining the top esports players around the world while providing them with an exceptional educational experience. Because above all, Ball State University is about the education that we provide our students. So, on behalf of the entire Ball State University community, the College of Communication, Information, and Media, we would like to thank RLL for your very generous gift. Your gift provides financial support, but what you may not know is that to our students, to our esports students, it tells them that you believe in what they're doing and that you value their future. Now, I'd like to introduce Dan Marino, who serves as the director of our outstanding esports program. He is the one who is truly leading our students to fly. Dan?
Thank you, Dean Turner, and thank you all for coming out to this amazing event. My name is Dan Marino. I'm the director of esports here at Ball State. I'm not the Miami Dolphins quarterback, but I do always say I have just as many Super Bowl rings. Growing up, like so many others in my age bracket, video games was always talked about as something that would never translate into the real world, a waste of time, and it's amazing how over the past decade that's quickly been turned on its head. Thanks to the scholarship program from Rahal Letterman Lanigan, we're finally able to bring in students that compete at a high level that can not only use their talents in-game and while they're racing, but to help prepare them for a career that may involve those same skills. As esports continues to explode, the collegiate area of esports is only continuing to get larger, and more schools getting involved with esports programs of their own make recruitment and attracting new students much more challenging by the year. So these awards will allow us to not only bring in students that are passionate about racing, but are capable to do it at a high level. Further, I'm amazed at the depth of the partnership with RLL, because again, not only will we have students racing with us under the Ball State and RLL logos, they'll be able to participate with RLL at community events, specifically upcoming in May. And it's just another example of how students will be able to engage away from the games, but using those same skills that they're learning here at Ball State. We will begin accepting and reviewing applications for these scholarships immediately. There is a priority deadline of March 15th. The only experience we are looking for are students that have previously raced either in sim racing or traditional racing. In order to apply, it's super simple. You just email me. You can find my email and more information about our esports program at bsu.edu/esports. But with that, I'd like to actually welcome up Senior Vice President of Marketing and Sales, Tom Knox.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. I want to start off by thanking President Mearns, Dean Turner, Dan Marino, and the entire faculty at Ball State University for their support not only for this program, but also the relationship that we're building today. Obviously, we have a lot of parallel connections with our ownership group, as well as with some of our current employees, and we hope to strengthen those relationships even further down the road. You know, 2020 taught us a valuable lesson that the world was forever changed and we had to pivot, and racing was no exception to that rule. We had to figure out new ways to stay engaged to our partners, our fans, the industry, as well as the entire racing community. And we were able to bridge some of that gap through iRacing and esports. And what became very apparent to us and our team was the need to tap into young, bright minds of the future, to work alongside our engineering group and discover ways of using racing and sim racing, if you will, and iRacing as a way to translate to real life applications. And so through this program, we are hoping to develop the future minds of tomorrow, not only to complement our racing program, but also even cross over into other areas of expertise from engineering, R&D, special projects across our race organization. It's also a good way for RLL to give back to the community and to the state of Indiana, to be good stewards for the sport moving forward, and to be brand ambassadors for the INDYCAR world, if you will. So for us, this is not only a partnership where we're helping young minds and financially supporting some students, but we also think it's reciprocal where they can help our engineering group. So we're very excited, very proud, and I just want to say thank you to the men and women that helped make this possible. With that said, I'd like to maybe ask Dave Letterman if you would like to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to try and articulate what this event represents for me. When I graduated from Ball State, it was a great moment of pride for me because I was the first member of my immediate family to attend college and graduate. And through the years, as I got to kind of broaden my horizon, I took Ball State with me, and the more time I had away from being a member of campus life, the more proud I became of this university. And the same is true with being part of Rahal Letterman Lanigan. I joined that, and it's been nothing but flattering and an amazing experience. So to have the two of these organizations meet together in what I fully believe is pioneering a new world, a new culture, a new way of life for not only sports, but any other endeavor. I am so pleased, so delighted, and so proud of this association. And by God, we'll do whatever we can to make you proud, and I know you will do whatever you can to make us proud. It's already happened, and that's about all I have to say. Thank you very much for having me, everybody.
Hey, can you hurry it up? We got a program to do. You would have stolen all the thunder if you'd like fractured a hip or something. So I'm glad you made it safe. I'm glad you made it safely back to your seat. What a special day. It's a special day for Ball State University for this particular program. I think for the state of Indiana, as Rahal Letterman Lanigan continues to invest in the state, and as Dave mentioned, the sharing in this partnership is, we anticipate, as Tom said as well, and Dean Turner, just going to be a win-win for everyone. And it's already been a victory just by looking at the turnout today. And we thank you so much for being here to cover the event and to participate in the event as well. There are media here that obviously are involved in wanting, they've got a story to do today, and so we want to make sure that we make the parties available. From the driver's side, Jack Harvey from Rahal Letterman Lanigan and Christian Lundgaard as well, available for interviews. I think Jack's going to be over here kind of underneath the Rahal Letterman lit banner here, and Christian more toward the back, or Christian on this side, excuse me. And then and the Ball State contingent will be toward the back of the room as well. So we want to give the media an opportunity to take care of their business, and we'll do that now and break out into the groups for about 15 minutes or so, and then we'll get the racing underway. Thank you again for being here, and again, as a Ball State alum, it's a great honor, and those days where I was trying to sneak in Dr. Weibel's class before he shut the door at 8 a.m. and locked me out, I can't believe that I'm standing on the stage here today with so many great dignitaries from the university. Thank you very much.
Check this now. Wait. Okay, so we can get levels. Okay, now we're getting levels. Never mind.
Where's yours at? Okay, right here.
Okay, you guys are good. Thank you.
Is that to mute that? Or is that just to
I think
like
it's
keep
just
it
to lock it.
the compression?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Does that kill everything?
No, if you want to talk to him, you do this. I
Don't.
would not mess with main unless you like have to sneeze or something.
Okay.
Because I don't know what that does. That's just talking to him. Yeah.
Now I'm talking to both you, and we'll go out here once we turn it up.
Evan, can you?
Is it?
It's too like.
Is that really the longest cable we have?
Now, I only want the only ones I can find.
Unless there's some secret staff.
Go ask Dan, because that's gonna look.
Right now, I'm only talking.
It's not gonna reach.
Are we streaming through INDYCAR?
If I need to tell you something, you know, about what's
Because if we're streaming through Discord, we don't even need that, do we?
I can't hear anything you're saying. Like, you're very faint.
Barely reach, bro. My flag.
Hey, Luke.
Oh, wow, that was loud. No, somebody's talking to me, and I hear somebody saying, "Hey, Luke," but I can't hear what anybody's saying. He doesn't have his headset on either. Yes, I can hear you now.
So you're the other side. My bad.
Yeah.
So,
The IFB? Turn IFB down?
yeah, you're good.
Okay, what does PGM mean?
Everything should be fine.
Okay, so that's my own personal, just up and down.
Program's everything.
Okay.
So you should hear music. Do you hear music?
I do not hear music in that. Static and room noise. Is there any music playing in the back? There's no music playing in the back. Hey, Alex said play music. Hello and welcome.
I don't know why
Alex Cartman. Welcome to the new esports space here on Ball State's campus. As you can see, we've got plenty of room, plenty of new computers for everyone to come in, game, relax, hang out. What you see here is we have a classroom and multi-purpose area first with 24 machines where teachers can come do interactive teaching and lessons across their courses, or students can casually come gameplay in the afternoons and the evenings, or we can find a way in the future to do community engagement in here. That's why we have so many that are available for everyone to come and use. Hopefully soon this will be really buzzing. We can't wait to host you in here. So now as we move behind me, you see what is our pride and glory for our varsity team here on campus. This is our 6v6 esports arena where we will host competitions, we'll host audiences to come watch, we'll do all sorts of esports events here on campus. You can see we've got high-end Alienware computers throughout the entire space, but up here they're top of the line, they're ready to go for competition for now and for hopefully the next 5-10 years down the road. And as we keep moving through, you see we're making sure the cutting edge is available to all students. That doesn't include only game players. Coming behind me, we have the ability to do streaming, broadcasting, all sorts of coverage of esports from in this venue or even throughout the country, thanks to the production room we've implemented here with our studio. So we're running a TriCaster system here with the top of the line brand new TriCaster 2 Elite. The ability to take any feed we want over IP, both audio and video over the internet. It's great. We have the ability to future-proof this and give students the opportunity to succeed now and in the future, same as out there. So we hope you can come visit us soon and enjoy the brand new Ball State esports space.
At Ball State University, our promise is simple: to empower the success of our students. Our students benefit from immersive learning, innovative academic programs, and state-of-the-art facilities. Ball State offers a distinctive yet affordable educational experience and the ideal environment to prepare for a fulfilling career and a meaningful life. We inspire Cardinals to transform their communities, to revolutionize their industries, and to make a difference. We fly. Are you ready to fly?
Can you feel it? It's on its way. Are you ready for this?
My name's Dan Marino, and I run the esports program here at Ball State.
Garner's trying to step up, the impale comes down. Ash is going to get some damage.
Yeah, let's take that whole there in the middle of the map.
Be a 3-pass Teister, and it goes in. Oh no, he gets slapped. That's huge actually.
Oh, with the shatter!
The esports program that I run is typically holistic. It's designed to give students the most experience possible through their 4 years so that should they continue on esports professionally, they have the skills they need, but even if they don't, they'll have the skills to succeed in any field that they find themselves in. This upcoming season, so the spring season, is all about setting the foundations. Obviously you want to succeed, you want to have, you want to win in playoffs and hopefully take home championships, but with it being a new program, you want to make sure that the processes and the procedures and the culture are correct first. And if you win while doing that, great. But it's more important that we set up the right foundations so that in future seasons we can win and we can win the way we want to. So it's a very tight-knit group, very friendly group. Not only do they play together, but they're friends. It makes it a lot easier when you trust the person next to you, not only in the game, but personally. One of the most exciting things about esports, especially collegiate esports, there are so many other roles other than playing. Typically, people always think, well, esports, you have to be a player. That's not necessarily the case. So yeah, esports social media accounts, or there's the production side of things. which I think is the most exciting piece of it outside of playing. Just like in traditional sports production, you know, telling the stories of the players, the teams, the narrative of a season. There's a lot of talent on a lot of different campuses, but being able to showcase that talent and showcase the person behind that talent, I think is going to be sort of that next frontier that hopefully brings esports a little bit closer to traditional sports, not only for the students playing the games, but for the people sort of consuming that content.
Welcome to the new varsity program here at Ball State Esports, where we compete against some of the best schools in the nation in the Esports Collegiate Conference. Like most traditional sports, there is a GPA requirement, and also you're expected to commit about 15 hours a week. That's with practice, scrimmages, and playtime. Now we got that covered, let's go look at the computers. To make sure players stay on top of the game, Ball State has hooked us up with some of the best gear they could get. There's 36 total computers here, 24 on the floor for classroom use. These computers here on the floor have i7 processors, GTX 3060s, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 144 Hz monitors. Now here's where varsity players will be competing. These computers have i9 processors, 3080s, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and 240 Hz monitors. Now varsity players do have priority access to these computers for practices and of course matches, but you don't have to be a player to get involved here at BSU Esports. Now this is the production room here at Ball State Esports. Now just like out there, this is some of the best gear Ball State can offer us. There's just one way you can get involved here at Ball State. You can be a team coach, team manager, or you can do analytics here for Ball State Esports. Some of the benefits for being part of BSU Esports is you get hooked up with some cool gear. You can get pants, sweatshirts, and most importantly, an awesome jersey. On top of that, you'll be traveling around the country for different types of LAN events, and also you get guidance in academics, health and nutrition, and even have access to a sports psychologist to keep you cool, calm, and collected during games. Since we are a new varsity program, we do have high expectations, but with that said, we look forward to see you this upcoming semester.
At Ball State University, we know your education is personal. So we welcome you as our learning partner from day one. Our students come from many different backgrounds, bringing their creativity and drive to all aspects of the learning experience. Whether that's in classrooms and labs, on the sports field, in the workplace, or out in our community engaged in hands-on learning projects. At Ball State University, we turn your emerging passion into an enduring purpose. Ball State's perfect size means you will have access to all the resources of a large institution while developing relationships that last long after you graduate. Our welcoming culture, immersive learning opportunities, and the collaborative culture among our faculty and staff provide the ideal environment for you to begin your journey to a fulfilling career and a meaningful life. Spirited and motivated, the Ball State community is ready to embrace the future. And our students, faculty, and staff have the intellectual curiosity, the determination, and the courage to shape it. Lifted by knowledge, yet grounded in our values, moving confidently upward to greater and greater opportunities. As Ball State Cardinals, we fly. Are you ready to fly?
At Ball State University, we welcome you as a learning partner from day one. Our students bring creativity and determination to each aspect of the learning experience, from the classroom to the community. At Ball State, we help students turn an emerging passion into an enduring purpose. Our beautiful campus, welcoming environment, immersive learning, and collaborative culture provide the ideal place for you to pursue your journey to a fulfilling career and a meaningful life. We fly. Are you ready to fly?
Hi, it's Christian. I'm super excited to join Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing for the next year's INDYCAR season. I had a good outing earlier this year with them, qualified well. The race didn't go our way, so I'm excited to see if we can improve that for the next year's season.
Hi, I'm Jack Harvey, driver number 45 Hy-Vee Honda. I really am so excited to get started on this new journey. It's a new chapter. I can't wait to represent Hy-Vee in 2022 and beyond, and I can't wait to get on track soon.
Hi, I'm Alex Cartman. Welcome to the new esports space here on Ball State's campus. As you can see, we've got plenty of room, plenty of new computers for everyone to come in, game, relax, hang out. What you see here is we have a classroom and multi-purpose area first with 24 machines where teachers can come do interactive teaching and lessons across their courses, or students can casually come gameplay in the afternoons and the evenings, or we can find a way in the future to do community engagement in here. That's why we have so many that are available for everyone to come and use. Hopefully soon this will be really buzzing. We can't wait to host you in here. So now as we move behind me, you see what is our pride and glory for our varsity team here on campus. This is our 6v6 esports arena where we will host competitions, we'll host audiences to come watch, we'll do all sorts of esports events here on campus. You can see we've got high-end Alienware computers throughout the entire space, but up here they're top of the line. They're ready to go for competition for now and for hopefully the next 5-10 years down the road. And as we keep moving through, you see we're making sure the cutting edge is available to all students. That doesn't include only game players. Coming behind me, we have the ability to do streaming, broadcasting, all sorts of coverage of esports from in this venue or even throughout the country, thanks to the production room we've implemented here with our studio. So we're running a TriCaster system here with the top of the line brand new TriCaster 2 Elite. The ability to take any feed we want over IP, both audio and video over the internet. It's great. We have the ability to future-proof this and give students the opportunity to succeed now and in the future, same as out there. So we hope you can come visit us soon and enjoy the brand new Ball State esports space.
At Ball State University, our promise is simple: to empower the success of our students. Our students benefit from immersive learning, innovative academic programs, and state-of-the-art facilities. Ball State offers a distinctive yet affordable educational experience and the ideal environment to prepare for a fulfilling career and a meaningful life. We inspire Cardinals to transform their communities, to revolutionize their industries, and to make a difference. We fly. Are you ready to fly?
Can you feel it? It's on its way. Are you ready for this?
My name's Dan Marino, and I run the esports program here at Ball State.
Garner's trying to step up, the impale comes down. Ash is going to get some damage.
Yeah, let's take that close there in the middle middle of the map.
Be a free pass to Deister, and it goes in.
Oh no, he gets slapped. That's huge, actually. Oh, with the shatter!
The esports program that I run is typically holistic. It's designed to give students the most experience possible through their 4 years, so that should they continue on esports professionally, they have the skills they need. But even if they don't, they'll have the skills to succeed in any field that they find themselves in. This upcoming season, so the spring season, is all about setting the foundations. Obviously, you want to succeed. You want to have, you want to win in playoffs and hopefully take home championships. But with it being a new program, you want to make sure that the processes and the procedures and the culture are correct first. And if you win while doing that, great. But it's more important that we set up the right foundations so that in future seasons we can win, and we can win the way we want to. So it's a very tight-knit group, very friendly group. Not only do they play together, but they're friends. It makes it a lot easier when you trust the person next to you, not only in the game, but personally. One of the most exciting things about esports, especially collegiate esports, there are so many other roles other than playing. Typically, people always think, well, esports, you have to be a player. That's not necessarily the case. So yeah, esports social media accounts, or there's the production side of things, which I think is the most exciting piece of it outside of playing. Just like in traditional sports production, telling the stories of the players, the teams, the narrative of a season. There's a lot of talent on a lot of different campuses, but being able to showcase that talent and showcase the person behind that talent, I think is going to be sort of that next frontier that hopefully brings esports a little bit closer to traditional sports, not only for the students playing the games, but for the people sort of consuming that content.
Welcome to the new varsity program here at Ball State Esports, where we compete against some of the best schools in the nation and the Esports Collegiate Conference. Like most traditional sports, there is a GPA requirement, and also you're expected to commit about 15 hours a week. That's with practice, scrimmages, and playtime. Now we got that covered, let's go look at the computers. To make sure players stay on top of the game, Ball State has hooked us up with some of the best gear they could get. There's 36 total computers here, 24 on the floor for classroom use. These computers here on the floor have i7 processors, GTX 3060s, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 144 Hertz monitors. Now here's where varsity players will be competing. These computers have i9 processors, 3080s, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and 240 Hertz monitors. Now varsity players do have priority access to these computers for practices and of course matches, but you don't have to be a player to get involved here at BSU Esports. Now this is the production room here at Ball State Esports. Now just like out there, this is some of the best gear Ball State can offer us. This is just one way you can get involved here at Ball State. You can be a team coach, team manager, or you can do analytics here for Ball State Esports. Some of the benefits for being part of BSU Esports is you get hooked up with some cool gear. You can get pants, sweatshirts, and most importantly, an awesome jersey. On top of that, you'll be traveling around the country for different types of LAN events, and also you get guidance in academics, health and nutrition, and even have access to a sports psychologist to keep you cool, calm, and collected during games. Since we are a new varsity program, we do have high expectations, but with that said, we look forward to see you this upcoming semester.
At Ball State University, we know your education is personal. So we welcome you as our learning partner from day one. Our students come from many different backgrounds, bringing their creativity and drive to all aspects of the learning experience. Whether that's in classrooms and labs, on the sports field, in the workplace, or out in our community engaged in hands-on learning projects. At Ball State University, we turn your emerging passion into an enduring purpose. Ball State's perfect size means you will have access to all the resources of a large institution while developing relationships that last long after you graduate. Our welcoming culture, immersive learning opportunities, and the collaborative culture among our faculty and staff provide the ideal environment for you to begin your journey to a fulfilling career and a meaningful life. Spirited and motivated, the Ball State community is ready to embrace the future. And our students, faculty, and staff have the intellectual curiosity, the determination, and the courage to shape it. Lifted by knowledge, yet grounded in our values, moving confidently upward to greater and greater opportunities. As Ball State Cardinals, we fly. Are you ready to fly?
At Ball State University, we welcome you as a learning partner from day one. Our students bring creativity and determination to each aspect of the learning experience, from the classroom to the community. At Ball State, we help students turn an emerging passion into an enduring purpose. Our beautiful campus, welcoming environment, immersive learning, and collaborative culture provide the ideal place for you to pursue your journey to a fulfilling career and a meaningful life. We fly. Are you ready to fly?
Hi, it's Christian. I'm super excited to join Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing for the next year's INDYCAR season. I had a good outing earlier this year with them, qualified well. The race didn't go our way, so I'm excited to see if we can improve that for the next year's season.
Hi, I'm Jack Harvey, driver number 45 Hy-Vee Honda. I really am so excited to get started on this new journey. It's a new chapter. I can't wait to represent Hy-Vee in 2022 and beyond, and I can't wait to get on track soon.
Hello and welcome to the INDYCAR Pro Challenge brought to you by Motorsports Games. My name is Luke Marble and I am joined by Ball State's sim racing captain and manager, Evan Puckett. Evan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Luke. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to see so many faces here today at Ball State, live from the Robert Bell room.
Yeah, we are here in the Robert Bell Building, room 134, where the Ball State University Esports Center is located. We're here today because of the INDYCAR Pro Challenge, and the Pro Challenge is a charity event where the top 3 drivers will earn respective rewards of $10,000, $8,000, and $5,000 to the charity of their choice. Evan, you want to talk to us a little bit about that? How many drivers are competing? What are we expecting to see today?
Yeah, well, we got some big names today. We have 22 drivers, all from the INDYCAR grid for this year. They have either completed 3 INDYCAR races previously, or they've been cleared by INDYCAR officials. We have big names like Roman Grosjean, Marcus Ericsson, Elio Castro-Neves, and with us today in our room we have Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing drivers Jack Harvey and Christian Lundgaard. These guys are new drivers to the team, but they're very strong in their own prospective careers leading up to this, and I'm excited to see where that goes this year.
Yeah, you mentioned Rahal Letterman Lanigan. Today, Ball State just announced a partnership for the esports program where RLL will provide Ball State with 2 $5,000 scholarships for 2 future students to join the sim racing team. And like he said, to celebrate, we're hosting Christian Lundgaard and Jack Harvey here today. Evan, you've got a little more experience in the racing game than I do. What kind of things are we going to expect to see from these 2 drivers tonight?
Yeah, well, so the way that tonight's race is going to work is that there's going to be 2 heat races, which means that they're 2 15-minute long races, so it's going to be very high energy, a lot of overtaking possibilities. So the first race is going to be a random grid draw, which means that all the drivers are going to get pulled from a lottery, which is that where they're going to start the race from. The results from race 1 will then be inverted for the second race, meaning the guy that finishes last place will start first place, which is going to be really interesting. And so both of those races, points are awarded using the standard INDYCAR point system that they use in real life. The combined amount of those points will go into determining who starts first in the main feature race, which will be a 20-minute long race. And we haven't even gotten to the track today. Local track, sure everybody's heard of it, Indianapolis Motor Speedway's road course. Big favorite of mine personally. I love the technicality of the course, followed by really strong, fast straights, lots of overtaking possibilities. So I'm sure we're going to see Jack and Christian making a lot of good moves today.
Very, very exciting stuff. We talked about Jack and Christian, and pretty soon we're going to be introducing them. You want to break it down for us?
Yeah, so we're going to go meet Christian Lundgaard, our first driver.
Hi, it's Christian. I'm super excited to join Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing for the next year's INDYCAR season. I had a good outing earlier this year with them, qualified well. The race didn't go our way, so I'm excited to see if we can improve that for the next year's season.
Yeah, so this is a test series on screen, if you can see it, of Christian Lundgaard a couple weeks ago at his first public testing at Sebring Circuit in Florida. I mean, I just love the way that he controls the car. He's so brave, especially being new to INDYCAR this year. He just commits all the way, and it's like watching Elio Castro-Neves or, you know, those top-ranked guys. So it'll be really interesting to see how he mixes in with these old veterans this year in real life and during this race today.
Yeah, like you said, he looks very calm. I mean, we can only see the top of his head, but just from the body language, it really just seems like you wouldn't even be able to tell that he is one of the younger drivers. We were talking last night. He's younger than both of us.
Oh, he is, yeah.
And it's crazy to think that somebody so young can just be so incredibly talented. Do you want to give us a little background information?
Yeah, so Christian started karting when he was in 2012, which I believe made him 11 years old. From there, he moved into the Formula Renault Euro Cup, which is a junior Formula series, similar to Formula 3 or Formula 2. From there, he moved into Formula 3, where he earned his first podium in Barcelona, which is pretty nice. He got a second place there. In 2017, he signed into Renault's Driver Academy, which has turned into Alpine's academy. Alpine is a very prominent Formula 1 team, where he actually got to test that Formula 1 car. He had a really strong car. Last year was his start to IndyCar. He started really strong, finishing 12th in his rookie race at Indianapolis. So this is a very good track for him. He knows the track. And we see him here. He's probably getting ready to get warmed up, probably making a couple last-minute adjustments to the sim, texting a couple of his IndyCar buddies, letting them know what he's doing, and I'm sure he's going to be getting right into it.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting stuff to see him here as well. Very excited to see what he can do. Very, very, very talented driver. We're going to move on now to our other driver here today, Mr. Jack Harvey. Evan, break it down for us.
Yeah, well, we have a video coming up right now we'll take a look at, and we'll get right into that.
That's right.
Hi, I'm Jack Harvey, driver the number 45 Hy-Vee Honda. I really am so excited to get started on this new journey. It's a new chapter. I can't wait to represent Hy-Vee in 2022 and beyond, and I can't wait to get on track soon.
And there we see Jack warming up, getting that car ready to go, putting the last couple practice laps in. Harvey is a British driver, 28 years old. He was the Indy Lights runner-up, which is a junior series to IndyCar, both in 2014 and 2015. He got 6 wins in that series, so that's a pretty impressive statistic there. He won in 2012, which is funny because that's when Christian Lundgaard was just getting into karting, won the British Formula 3 championship, which is very impressive. He raced for Meyer-Shank Racing, a very prominent IndyCar team, but now he's moved into Rahal Letterman. Still very competitive driver, bound to get his first win of the season.
Yeah, he's another one that just very incredibly talented. We talked to him a little bit before the event started. He's definitely a little bit newer to the sim racing world, but here we see him. He looks just as calm as he would during a regular race. I don't think he's worried at all. We're going to be seeing a little bit of footage here from him. I believe this is earlier today.
No, this is right now. He's warming up.
Ah, this is the current footage. This is his warm-up.
Yeah, and I'm looking here, and he just looks so comfortable, right? I know I was talking to him earlier today, and he's not huge into sim racing. He's done a little bit testing-wise, and he's done a couple events. But he says other than that, he hasn't really done all that much. But, I mean, it looks like he's adjusted to the difference between real life and simulator. I mean, there's not a lot of differences when it comes to it. Really the only thing is that you're missing that atmosphere around you, the car shaking up beneath you. But in terms of your arms and the hands, what you feel, it's very, very similar and very detailed. So I think that gives him some comfort and some peace of mind going into this race. And I'm really excited to see where he ends up.
Yeah, and like you said, there's a little bit of a difference, but it's not very much when it comes to sim racing, right? They've done a really good job of trying to make things about as one-to-one as possible.
Right.
Here we're seeing Christian Lundgaard now. This is current footage as well during his warm-up.
And he is not new to sim racing at all. He's been doing this almost his entire life. Very comfortable in a simulator setting. Like I said earlier, he's done simulator work for Alpine's Formula 1 team, which is really interesting to see him bring that knowledge that he has into IndyCar. You can see there trying to get some heat into those tires. Going past the track a little bit. Probably just on a warm-up, but luckily that's not anything race he needs to worry about. Just having a little bit of fun, as this race is, because it is a charity event after all. So all the drivers driving for a really great cause. I was talking to Jack earlier today, and if he wins this race or gets second or third, he said that the charity of his choosing for him to donate would be the Children's Fair Play Fund, which is a fund based in Indianapolis that works with kids with mental issues and autism, which is a really cool thing. I have a lot of experience with that. My mom actually works with them, which is really cool to see Jack making those connections, new to Indy. And yeah, really cool opportunity, really great charity for him to be working towards. So I'm sure that's giving him a lot of motivation.
Yeah, that's a really cool small world moment for you, I imagine, everything kind of coming together like that. Talk to us a little bit about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What kind of things you talked about, some potential overtake points coming up. Talk to us a little bit about what we can expect to see from the drivers.
Yeah, so typically in an IndyCar race, they're a little bit longer than these heat races that we're going to see. So they would really have to kind of manage their tires. Those tires, they tend to build up that heat and start scrubbing off. Grip starts to grub off. So, it's a bigger chance for them to go off track, make a mistake. But with these heat races, I think they're going to be able to just push those tires to the limit and be able to have that grip. Overtaking, few points on track that you're able to do that, not a ton. Turn 1 especially is very, very popular overtaking, both in sim and in real life. I was at the Grand Prix last year and I saw the majority overtakes taken there. Only problem with that is coming out of turn 13, it's a very fast right-hand flat out corner, and if you mess up that exit and don't get on the throttle just soon enough, you're going to lose all momentum going into that turn 1 for that overtake. Turn 7 as well, also coming off of a straight, really good chance to get that slipstream behind a car, that vacuum behind a car that you have less air resistance in, where you can get that little speed boost to get around your opponent. It's going to be really interesting to see those two opportunities.
Yeah, there's a lot of very, very small but super important factors that come into something like racing. I admit, I didn't know there was so many things coming into it. Like, we talked a lot last night about just kind of the science behind racing and how just accurate it is even in these sim racing programs, right? Like, for a lot of esports, there's nothing that's been quite so similar to anything like there is for sim racing.
Absolutely, and especially nobody, I don't think, in the country or even the world has had the opportunity that Ball State Esports and Rahal Letterman have had. I've never heard of an IndyCar team partnering with a college esports program, which is crazy. And what they're doing is that they're offering scholarships for prospective freshmen. It'll be a 4-year-long scholarship of $5,000, and they're going to bring them in, coach them. I may be able to coach them, see and let them progress, and it'll be in conjunction with RLL's esports program. And they've actually been leading in that IndyCar esports world. Not a lot of IndyCar teams have developed esports programs, and Rahal Letterman has actually done a really good job in getting their foot in the door, getting competitive right off the bat. I've watched a couple of their events, and their esports drivers are very well equipped and very strong in the field.
Very exciting.
It'll be really exciting to see how that scholarship opportunity pans out and to see the other future opportunities that we're going to have with Rahal Letterman.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot during our other broadcasts for Overwatch, for League of Legends, Valorant, Rocket League. We talk about how we started very small. We were a student run club. We've worked our way up. We have staff. Now we have scholarships. We're partnering with huge companies, especially in the racing world.
Absolutely.
We're one of the first, if not the first, collegiate sim racing team to be joining up with a pro team.
I think it's the first. I don't think it's ever actually been in history, and there's a lot of people to thank for that, especially our Dean Turner, Dean Paige Turner. She's done an amazing job. She's always there for her students. She's always there, for when the esports program people need something. And actually, look at this. We're going right into Heat 1. So right now we're on track with Jack Harvey. He's behind Callum Ilott. He's in 7th place, it looks like. This is that random draw, so this is a good start for Jack. They're doing that formation lap, and he's behind two very strong IndyCar drivers and rookies. So you see Marcus Ericsson, ex-Formula 1 driver, in that red and white car there. And now we're moving over to Christian, who starts 16th. He'll have a little bit of work to do ahead of him. But, he's so comfortable in the sim that I'm sure that he's going to be able to make up those positions very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, they all look super calm, right? Like, this is everything that they practice for on a day-to-day basis. Very, very cool.
Right, and you can see they're locked in, they're focused, they're not letting anybody, all the media that's here, all the students that are watching, they're locked in on those 3 screens that they're looking at. They're not thinking about anything else except winning this race.
Nothing is more important than winning these races.
Oh, they're some of the most competitive guys I've ever met. They want to win this. They want to get that charity money. They want to donate to their charity. So we're coming coming up, I think, on turn 11, going into turn 12. So we're going to have 2 more turns after this, and then we're going to get the green light for the shootout down to turn 1, which will be really interesting to see from these guys' perspectives.
Do you think we're going to see any early overtakes? Or?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're going to want to play a little bit cautious into this, because remember that this is just a heat race, which determines the grid for. And here we go. We're speeding up a little bit. We got Elio Castroneves starting first. It looks like he went into the pit, so Kirkwood may be in the first, and we got the green flag going. Jack's going in, trying to find that little side draft from Marcus Ericsson. He's going to keep right on the track. He doesn't want to make a mistake going into this. Going straight into that. Almost cooked up that front end, but we got a lock up in front, it looks like, and we got a yellow flag already, but it looks like he made that move against Marcus Ericsson's stick pretty well. It looks that Elio Castroneves is getting a little twitchy in the front, but it looks like he's going to be able to hang on to that. Great start for Jack Harvey. As he comes up on the outside, I think they made a little bit of contact there on the front left side of his car. Let's see if we can make that move stick. Giving that wide berth there for Elio Castroneves as we move over to Christian behind Rinus VK. He's made up 7 spots so far, up into 9th, which is really good. And you can see him, he's just eating away at all that curb, using all the track that's available to him, because you want to be able to make the distance around the track as short as possible. It looks like we have a yellow in Sector 2, but I don't think we're going to be able to see that quite yet. And we got a little pile up going into turn 12 and going into 13, but it looks like everybody got clean. And there goes Lundgaard. Oh, he got some contact with Kyle Kirkwood, but it looks like he was able to recover. And this is what I was saying, you know, these guys are going to be so aggressive coming off the line, and that they're not going to want to give each other positions. So I can see, I bet you he's going to try to jump up on the inside. He's got that slipstream going around Kyle Kirkwood. He's going on. It looks maybe possibly 3 wide, but it looks like he's going to be able to make that move stick. That's 2 positions in 1 move. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Harvey and Lundgaard now in top 5 positions. Very, very good start for both drivers.
Absolutely. And let's take a look at what Jack's up to here. Up into 3rd position. Absolutely amazing. It looks like he's got a little bit of breathing room between him and the guy in front. Up ahead, we have Callum Ilott, that Formula 2 driver. And ahead, in 1st place, we have Roman Grosjean, a Formula 1 driver originally, now moved to INDYCAR with DHL Penske, and actually, I'm sorry, Andretti Motorsport. My apologies. So, Roman Grosjean, very prominent in sim racing, but it's really going to see how Jack Harvey gets up and closes that gap to him. Christian looks like he's up into 5th place, still behind Devlin, and his car control is just absolutely amazing. And like I said earlier, he likes to throw the car into corners. Very good at keeping the car controlled through the corner and controlling the slip that the front end of the car likes to get. You see he kind of takes that corner a little bit tighter than everybody else, and it pays off. He's going to get a really good exit into this straightaway. He's got the momentum going, and let's see if he can make the move.
He just looks so calm, so comfortable. Like you said, he likes to kind of, he's really good at staying calm, making sure that he can get around those corners, maybe try and get an overtake here and there. You can tell that he's spent a lot of time, even in the sim racing. Like, it's a pretty close, almost a 1-to-1 transition between sim racing and the real thing. You can tell that he spent a lot of time in both. He's very, very well calculated.
Looks like
he's taking his time.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but it looks like we got a car off track on the right-hand side. I don't know exactly who that is, and it looks to be Roman Grosjean going into the pit. So that means, I believe, both Jack and Christian are going to gain a place in this race. Easy position for them.
Very, very, very good start for both our drivers here.
And now we got Christian going on Jack Harvey. Teammates turn into rivals going into turn 1. Let's see how this turns out. Jack gives Christian a wide berth to let that car go through safely, and it looks like Christian gets ahead of Jack. And you know, the first rule of racing. And he got a big...
Gonna crash!
Jack Harvey with that great commentary, actually, predicting that move and that crash. And it looks like Christian got out of that way relatively scuff-free, but I don't know how the rules are going to look about that. I didn't see it quite. I think it was mistaken. Got a little bit too hot on the brakes there. But now we got teammate on teammate. And now we got some pushing going on from Rhinus VK guy. See, I told you, absolutely crazy. They just commit all the way. They don't want to let these positions go.
This race?
It's 15 minutes, so it depends on actually how fast they go. So roughly they're running about
20 laps?
1 minute 14, 1 minute 15 lap times. So 15 minutes, I'd say about 13 to 14 laps.
It's a very, very short race, but you can tell they're really making these laps count. They want to make sure they can get as much of an advantage as possible before it maybe becomes a little too late to try and get these overtakes. They both took some really well calculated moves early in the start, and it paid off super well.
And it looks like Jack's in a little bit of battle with Sage Karam. Let's see what happens here. Looks like Jack's lost a little bit of momentum on the pace. Maybe that first move into turn 1 knocks his confidence a little bit.
Chicane there.
See if you can get that confidence back going into this straight. Alright, so looking at this, it looks like Jack's going to try to set up a move going into turn 1. And like I said before the race, these next 2 turns are very crucial to getting a good exit. He's got to carry the momentum coming out of this turn, which it looks like he does pretty well, and then he's going to have to line it up and get a really good exit. Good apex. Oh, and he got a great exit there. So let's see if he can catch that slipstream. I think he may be a little too far back for it this lap, but let's see if he can close the gap through the rest of the track and come back at it again, all right?
Absolutely.
Oh, it looks like he hit the wall a little bit. Maybe lost a little bit of focus on his camera.
Through the camera, a little peace sign there. It's cool to see that they're having fun with this too, right?
Absolutely.
Like, they're here to compete. They want to win for their charity. They're still having so much fun at the same time.
And you can see that big smile on his face. I don't think he's really here to, I think he's here to have a good time. You know, he's racing against his rivals in a, you know, kind of non-harmful and just kind of fun environment where they're not competing for points and not competing for a championship. So I get it's a relatively new thing for drivers to be able to do, is to compete, you know, without really competing in real life. And it also gives them a chance to see the driving styles of other drivers that they're going to be going up against. Let's take a look at Christian real quick as he's going still in 3rd position. Oh, and he just loses it there.
Where did that come from?
Looks like he overcooked his brakes just a little bit, and I think he went for that turn in going into turn 13, and he just lost the back end there. He's going to drop back down to 4th, but I think he still has a decent amount of room between the guy behind him. Let's see if he can make that position back up. Yeah, and it's really important. Your brakes heat up quickly on this track, and you don't want your brakes to fade. It's just like, you know, driving in your real car at home. If you hit the brakes too hard, too much, you know, those brakes are going to fade and you're just going to slide. It looks like here Jack's going up against Marcus Ericsson. This should be a good matchup. Let's see if he can hit those apexes on the curbs. I think he'll be a little bit too far back to get that draft and get that overtake done, but let's see how he goes through the next sector into the straightaway going into turn 1.
He's looking pretty calm, you know. We're still in the first half of this race. There's plenty of time for moves to be made, plenty of time for other factors to kind of set into place, right? The car starts to wear down a little bit. It is a short race, but, you know, might have to go into the pits a little bit. That's a great time for them to take that advantage, take that lead, try and get some ground back, and really push for that first place finish.
Looks like we may have a yellow going into sector 1. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Let's see if we can see it coming up on the screen here. Don't see anything quite, but it seems like he's closing the gap to VK a little bit. He's just got to be really consistent and staying in VK's draft, but not getting too close to where he's making him uncomfortable. He hit that turn really well. Let's see how good of an exit he can get going into this straight. It looks like we have a car off track, a slow car ahead on the right-hand side. And we actually only got 30 seconds left in this race. Time goes by fast when everybody's pushing hard, but it looks like he's going to go shoot right down the inside of Helio Castroneves. Makes that move stick. I think this either is going to be the last lap or going into the last lap, so let's see if he can get that third place position.
Did just get a report that Jack Harvey did crash out, but we're still here following Christian Lundgaard. We're coming up on the very end of this first race here, just trying to get that third place finish.
He may have the draft a little bit. I don't know if he'll be enough to back, but it looks like the checkered flag. So we got a third place finish for Christian Lundgaard, which is very well finished. So this means that he will start closer to the back of the grid this time going into Heat 2. So it'll be really cool to see how he makes up positions going into this for that points combined score going into our main feature race.
Yes, and a reminder to those viewing, for the second race, the order is determined by the reverse of whatever the outcome of the first race was. So our top 3 finishers will be the last 3 people in the grid. Evan, talk to us a little bit about that first race. You know, this track is definitely not the easiest one. You have some very, very, very sharp turns. Talk to me a little bit about kind of what goes into like overtaking. What do they need to do as a driver?
Yeah, so you got to obviously firstly be careful on your brakes. Going into those really long straightaways, really easy to get on the brake a little bit too late or a little bit too early, a little bit too hard. It'll just lock those brakes up. The heat builds up too fast, and then the tires will just stop spinning, and that's what you'll see, that smoke pop out of the back of the car. Those are the tires flat spotting. And what that flat spotting means is that there's a little bit of a flat spot on that tire. So every time that you further brake up, the tire will always find that little flat spot and slowly just wear that tire down until there's vibrations in the car. And in the sim, it's really interesting because the computer algorithms actually determine and can factor that in, so you can feel those flat spots as you're driving. Not good for the car, takes out a lot of straight line speed, and it just wears your tires down. So being really careful on the brakes going into those turns, that's going to be the key for the second race as we're getting ready to start that here soon.
Gotcha. I believe we will be taking a very, very short break. We will return very quickly in just a moment. Hello and welcome back to the IndyCar Pro Challenge brought to you by Motorsports Games. If you're just now tuning in, we are here at the Robert Bell Building, room 134, home of the Ball State University Esports Center. My name is Luke Marble, and I'm joined by Ball State sim racing captain and manager Evan Puckett. Evan, we just saw a very, very exciting race. Very, very short heat race, but we saw some very, very cool stuff in those 10 minutes. You want to talk to us a little bit about some of the things that we saw?
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see both drivers making really good starts. Christian Lundgaard, he got right off the line, made up a lot of positions, and ended third in that first heat race. So now coming into heat 2, and remember that the grids are reversed, he will start closer to the back of this heat race. So he's going to have a lot more traffic to get back up if he wants to start closer. He started 16th last race, so now he's going to be starting even farther back this time. Jack Harvey had a really good start to the race, made up a lot of positions up into P5, but unfortunately crashed out towards the end of this race, meaning that he's going to start in the middle of the pack. And we see here Jack Harvey prepping up, getting ready to race. He's driving that Hy-Vee Honda. Same car he'll be driving in real life, that black and red livery. Spectacular looking car. One of my favorites on the current IndyCar grid. He's getting up, ready to go. We got a warm-up of exiting pits going into turn 1. He's got to get some heat into those tires.
What?
Looks like he's slowing down. I think everybody's just kind of trying to, you know, get back into the groove, getting the game lobby all set up, ready for race 2.
Yeah, a lot of big talents in the racing world, and not even in the racing world, the entertainment world here tonight as well. We saw a lot of big names. You were talking about Paige Turner. We've got our own coordinator, Mr. Dan Marino, not the football player, but very big man at the Ball State campus.
The big man.
We've seen other very, very big names. Do you want to talk a little bit about who's been in the room with us today?
Well, today, so other than who we've already mentioned, we had the most famous Ball State alumni. I'm sure everybody's heard of him. David Letterman himself made an appearance. It was great to see him. He is part owner of Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. So he has invested a lot of time and himself into this program. So I'm sure this partnership with Ball State sparked a lot of interest with him. So he wanted to come down and make sure everything was running smoothly and see what the event was all about. And we also, I believe, had Vince Welch, who is a commentator for both IndyCar and a Ball State graduate as well. Does a lot of stuff in the sporting world, a lot of commentating. Really interesting to see him here. He was emceeing with us. Great to see another, you know, broadcast face. And speaking of broadcast, this is my first broadcast, so I'm having a great time.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you for giving me some coaching advice. And it's great to see, you know, my first one is in the passion that I fell into.
Your first gig, and you're announcing for professional IndyCar drivers. It's the sport that you love, the game that you spend the most time playing. Everything is just really coming together for you right now.
Right. No, I had to kind of, you know, control my little fanboy when I saw Christian and Jack walk in. I mean, I've seen these guys race since, you know, I'm just as old as Christian, so as he kind of packs into the back of that car behind him, seems like he got up there unscathed. You know, it's really interesting to see, you know, the damage on these cars too. I don't think they have it activated right now since it's just a warm-up. But the damage models in these cars are absolutely fantastic. I know you saw in the race when Christian kind of made contact, you can see little bits of stuff flying off, and that does have an effect on your car in game. So, you know, if you lose a little bit of a front wing, you're going to lose a lot of straight line speed and downforce going into these turns, and you need that downforce to suck the car into the ground, give it the grip it needs to make those really tight right and left hand turns like this one coming out of turn 1 into turn 2.
Who was that driver that we just saw?
I think that was Jack Harvey parked slowly. I think they're just kind of, you know, trying to get themselves tuned up a little bit. They're getting warmed up here. This isn't the actual heat race. This is just a little mini warm-up session for them to warm their tires, you know, go over a couple things in the head that they wish that they changed last time, like, oh, maybe I need to shift this braking point back, you know, 10, 15 feet. Maybe I need to be in this gear. And we can see Jack here working his way around the track, driving that Jack and track. That's hard to rhyme, but driving that Hy-Vee Honda. You know, they're in it to win it. They not all for bragging rights, though. You know, they got $10,000, $8,000, or $5,000 on the line for a charity of their choosing. So they're going to want to be doing the best that they can going into this second heat race so they can qualify well for the main feature race that decides it all.
Yep, and Christian Lundgaard's definitely got an early start with that third place finish early on. That's some very early and very important placing going forward, especially for the charity if he wants to win.
Right, he's driving absolutely amazing in that Shield Cleansers Honda. It'll be the same car graphic and car livery that he'll be driving come St. Petersburg for the first IndyCar race this year. You see him getting warmed up, and I just love the focus on his face. See, he's locked in, and looks like here we're going to be getting into this second heat race just in a moment. They're in their lobby getting ready.
All the last second preparations going into the race. We are going to see.
So it looks like we got about 45 seconds left until we get underway here, going for that formation lap. last check of their phones. Getting ready to go.
But yeah, Heat 2 coming up in...
Wait a second.
And it looks like they're starting where they ended last race.
Wait a second.
And it looks like Christian's catching on to it. He's noticing the confusion. They were supposed to start opposite of where they finished. They he should have started lower down in the grid, almost probably in 18th or 19th place. I don't know if this is just a game error or what, but it looks like Christian Lundgaard benefiting out of this, actually. Going to be starting third, so he's going to have a lot of availability to make a lot of good moves against Paulo and Daly.
Yeah. Sometimes these bugs in games happen. We see them happen all the time. Sometimes they're really fun, but something like this, super, super beneficial if your name is Christian Lundgaard.
Yeah,
that third place spot is significantly different than an 18th place spot.
Absolutely. And he's going to be all over the back of Alex Palou as he comes down into turn one, getting some heat into those tires. He's going to be starting behind Connor Daly, so he's going to be on the inside of the track coming into turn one. So his biggest issue is going to be looking out for Palou and making sure that he's not trying to catch a cheeky move on his outside. So when he goes to turn in, he's going to have to be there. Let's see where Jack's starting here. Back in 14th place.
Doesn't seem like a privilege.
He's got a lot of opportunities here. You hear him talking over the radio.
He'll be behind Joseph Newgarden here at the start of this race. It's really fun being able to sit in and kind of listen in on their comms, too. You were almost having a conversation with Harvey earlier, and it was just really fun, and it was good for maybe the viewers at home as well as myself, just kind of hearing you talk to Harvey the way that you would talk to a friend about racing.
Yeah, let's listen in on Jack to see what he's saying. I think he's having a conversation with one of the other drivers.
What happens if I just biff Joseph?
No, he's talking about you don't want to do that going into this race. And let's see, cut back to Christian for the start of this race. Yeah, see, I told you, he's all over Connor Daly. He's going to be trying to get that slipstream coming right back out. He's going right behind Alex Palou. He's going to try to, I bet you, swing on the inside, and looks like Alex Palou's covering the end of that. He's going to want to be careful here. They're going to press him up against the wall. Going into turn one, he's going to back out a little bit early. Want to play it safe as Alex Palou locks up that rear right tire. He's going around the outside. It looks like Jack's having some issue going up, but he looks like he's made up 3 positions so far as Rinus VK goes off the track coming out of turn 2. All over the back of Joseph Newgarden. He's going to be trying to make a move going down into turn 7. It looks like we have another yellow flag as Simon Pagano goes off the track and rejoins. He's going to have to let him go to avoid a penalty. I don't think he's going to be able to make this move unless he gets really bold and tries to go almost 3-4 wide where he knocks him off the track.
Did I spin him?
I think that may be a penalty there, but let's see. A little bit of a bold move there from Jack Harvey. I would say in real life that's not interesting, but now we got Christian took the lead away from Alex Palou. Brilliant move. They're battling wheel to wheel right now. They're going straight into turn one. This is going to be an absolute drag race. Christian has the advantage here. He has the inside, but as Palou goes and knocks him a little bit wide, I think that's a little bit of a bold move. But he's got to be laid on the brakes, but he's got to be careful. And it looks like he made that move stick. So now it's all about being able to keep Palou behind. And it looks like Palou may have dropped down into 3rd place. As good save there from Christian Lundgaard.
Very good recovery.
And like I said, that's cooking the brakes and the tires a little bit too quick. He didn't really expect that. As Sage Karam takes the lead. Let's see if he can take it back here going back into turn 1. I don't think he'll be able to make it here. See if he can make it back here going into turn 8 and then going into turn 9. Turn 13 is the one that we got to be looking out for. He's got to get a good exit so he can get that slipstream behind Sage and hopefully get on the inside going into turn 1.
You brought up earlier the move that Harvey made. It's just kind of the beauty of sim racing, right? You have these opportunities where you can try out these things without there being as serious of a consequence as your own safety, right? That's the beauty of having these really beautiful rigs, these really nice setups, is you can get in as much practice as you want against some of the best drivers in the world. All it costs is just a lot of money because these rigs are kind of expensive.
Right, and you know, there's places anywhere for you to, like, you know, get into sim racing, which is the beauty of it. And it looks like Jack Harvey coming down here to the third one, currently 9th out of 20, getting into the flow. He's starting to figure out the track. You know, like we said, he hasn't really done all that much sim racing, but it looks like every lap that he's doing, he's getting a little bit more and more comfortable with the car, how it behaves.
Yeah, when we talked to him earlier, he mentioned that really the first time that he had gotten into sim racing, and that was really the only big time, was right at the start of the pandemic. And by the way that he's driving and just by the look of things, you wouldn't be able to tell that he might be one of the newer drivers to the world of sim racing.
I'm going to interrupt you here. Looks like Christian's getting in a little bit battle for first, second, and third. It looks like he has somebody coming up on him. Let's see how this goes into turn 1 on this front straight here. And you can hear in our headphones, you can hear those tires squealing out when they're full throttle through there. You know, the tires are screaming out in pain, but they've got a grip, you know. He's got to keep the tires warm. He's got to keep the brakes cool. And it's a hard task to do because you don't want to overcook one because you'll overcook the other.
Right.
Looks like he's closing the gap a little bit to Sage, and it looks like Jack Harvey and Callum Eilert may have had like a little bit of a tangle there. Not quite sure what exactly happened, but it looks like Callum Eilert came out a little bit handy. You get a little spurt from Jack Harvey there on your bottom left-hand side of your screen. You see Christian slowly closing the gap for first place. Let's see if he can make it stick going into turn 1.
It's really interesting just to be able to watch. We have the extra camera setup, right? We wanted to see the driver's feet. We wanted to see these movements. Everything that they do is just so pinpoint precise. They have, looks like the Razer gaming socks on as well. I've never seen anybody wear them, but it makes the most sense for a driver, a professional driver, to be wearing them.
Absolutely.
I hope they're comfy.
And he got a really good exit there, so let's see. It looks like Sage had a little bit of a tweak, but I think Christian did too. I don't think he's going to be quite close for this. But like you said, those socks, wearing socks, you know, you don't want to have shoes when you're wearing, because in the shoes you have rubber, which squishes down. And that's a little bit of input delay going into your throttle and brake. So you want to have instant throttle, instant brake. So wearing just socks, or, you know, a special kind of racing socks, oh, he gets a little bit dicey through there. Got a little bit of understeer in that car. But it looks like he may be close enough to Sage to see if he can maybe pull off a move here. Let's find out. I don't think he's going to go for it, but I think he's going to be able, yep, he's going to be really late on those brakes to be able to come out of this turn. He's going to try to stay with him going through this technical bit, going into turn 12 and 13 and seeing if he can get a good exit so he can get that overtake on that front straight.
Yeah, that set of turns right there is very, very risky. Probably the biggest risk point in the map, the biggest chances of you to maybe spin out, maybe get a collision, but also a great chance for you to get some ground back.
Right, and we see here Sage looks like he took that a little bit too wide, and he's going to have that slipstream going up into turn 1 as long as he gets a little loose there. I don't think he's going to be able to make it stick. He almost had it. I think he just needed to maybe play it a little bit safer going into and out of turn 13. It looks like he may try to stick it on the inside. Nope, he thinks better of it and falls back in line with Sage. Sage messed up a little bit, but we'll get back to Christian in just a second. Jack running comfortably in 10th place. That's a good starting point for the main event race. He'll have a lot of opportunities. It looks like he overcooked it a little bit there, but it looks like he's built up a decent gap. Every lap becoming a little bit more and more comfortable with that sim rig and that Hy-Vee virtual Honda. Obviously they'll manage a little bit differently, but, you know, him being ahead of Kyle Kirkwood, good result for him. Looks like we have Lundgaard, who lost a position and now is getting pushed off track by Felix Rosenquist and Alex Pillow. I think that comes down to tire scrubbing, and he's just lost that grip fight. When you're fighting that hard to get the lead and keep the lead, you're just going to burn through your tires. But it looks like he's going to get the draft of Alex Palou, and he's going to go up on his inside, drag race, and he loses that slipstream there, so he's going to come back, and then he's going to pull out back on his inside, see if he can make that move stick, going side by side into turn 1, and then still side by side into turn 2, where Alex Palou just squeezes him out. Let's see if he'll go for the over-under here on Alex Palou going into these and the next couple chicanes. Now he's going to be a little bit too far back, but I think he's going to be just close enough to maybe go up, pull an inside move on this turn going into turn 7.
Yeah, we got about 1 minute and 50 seconds left. That's still plenty of time for both drivers to gain a little more ground.
Looks like he's going to go right off the track, and that's him out of the race. He broke his front wing. I think he tried to get a little aggressive going on the outside there. Not quite sure what happened, but that's unfortunate for Christian Lundgaard. It looks like he just broke his entire front wing, so he's going to be losing a lot of downforce for the rest of this race. Jack's still comfortable in P10. Taking it easy on those tires, and he's got somebody right on his right-hand side, and that's Kyle Kirkwood going and taking back 10th place, which makes Jack Harvey the 11th place holder currently. Let's see if he can take it back. Let's line up these moves correctly. Take a deep breath. Get a good exit coming out of turn 13. Doesn't look like he'll have it here. I think he was a little slow on throttle. I think he's taken a little bit easier on the tires than Christian was. I think he's playing the strategy game a little bit more, probably going into this feature race where we're going to see a lot more moves coming from him.
Yeah, there is a lot of just strategy that goes into racing that maybe gets a little overlooked, right? We've seen the drivers kind of think about making a move, right? They'll swing in on the inside, try and get a move before a big turn, and then maybe have to think like it's not really worth the risk. There's still plenty of ground to gain back. Now's not the right time. They come back in. What other strategies in racing do you think you can see, especially on a track like this with these cars?
I would say especially sprint racing, choosing your opportunities. And it looks like he's going to be able to make 2 positions up here. Both drivers go wide, Kyle Kirkwood, and I don't know who that other driver was, Christian Lundgaard. So he's going to be up into 9th place now. Easy overtake for him. You just got to keep it clean. That's what it's all about.
Do see the checkered flag.
Looks like he overcooked it a little bit there, but we're coming up on the check flag where he's going to lose that back to 10th place. Goes a little bit wide there, but I think he's going to hold on to a solid midfield finish going into the main feature race.
It's a comfortable place to be, right? It's a good place to be going into the feature race, right? We're coming right back to the track that we've been on.
Yep, and there he goes, he bins. See, all in good fun. Oh, wow.
Lundgaard coming in.
Just share that. That's the first rule of racing. It looks never crash into your teammate. Obviously, it's a little fun post-race shenanigans, but first rule of racing, especially in IndyCar and open wheel racing, never crash into your teammate.
Are you speaking from experience by chance?
I luckily have not had that embarrassment of doing that, but I mean I've seen plenty of drivers on TV, bump with with their teammates, and it just it's never a good look for a team, never a good look for a driver. So
we're gonna throw it to a little bit of a break, and we will be back right at 7 o'clock. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to the INDYCAR Pro Challenge brought to you by Motorsports Games. I'm Luke Marble and I'm joined by Ball State's sim racing captain and manager Evan Puckett. Evan, we just finished both of the heat races. We're coming into the feature race. We saw a lot of really fast action, a lot of drama right before this feature race. You want to talk to us a little bit about some of the things that we saw?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was a little wrong going into this race. I didn't think tire degradation was going to be such an issue. But, you know, at around 7 minutes into this race, their tires just fell off, and you could see them, drivers running wide, lots of lockups. So going into this feature race, it is a 10-minute longer race. It's 20 minutes. So they're going to have to be able to nurse those tires and know that they need to nurse those tires to get the car home safe and in a good position.
Yep, and fans, if you are just joining us, we are looking at driver Christian Lundgaard, who had a very strong start with a third-place finish. Unfortunately, did lose a lot of ground with, I'm not really sure, do we know what happened with that?
I don't know. I think we were on a different camera, but it looks to me like he may have just got pressed up on the inside with kind of an aggressive move. I'm not 100% sure on that, and I don't want to make assumptions. And I'm getting actually a confirm from the IndyCar broadcast that he overcooked it in turn 7, and it just kind of got ran wide a little bit. So people took the opportunity to pass him, and he just kind of lost some of that momentum. And we see here Jack Harvey and Christian Lundgaard working on that car setup, maybe changing a couple things, seeing what they can do better on track. It's more of a strategy battle this race rather than outright just blast to the finish. They're going to want to be smart with their moves. They're going to want to look around them and be aware of what's happening around them. And, you know, I have really big confidence. I mean, we saw Christian make up a ton of places at the start of the first heat race. So I have no doubt if he's playing it cautious and keeping his tires cool, he could have a possibility to win this race. We saw him battling for the lead last race, but I think he just, you know, like I said, he cooked those tires a little bit too much, chasing that car in front, and it just cost him that first place victory in the Heat 2 race.
Yeah, anything can happen in these races, right? We saw him start in 16th, making his way all the way up to 3rd in just 10 minutes. We're coming up on a 20-minute race. Who knows what can happen in that kind of time?
Right, and, you know, it's really interesting to see R Factor 2, which is the game that they're using to race, has very good tire wear mechanics and algorithms, which is really interesting to see. Different kind of from other racing games. They kind of took a different approach to it, and they've had a lot of success and a lot of good ratings from that. And it'll be cool to see when they go in 2023. The company that made them, Motorsports Games, will be coming out with an IndyCar game in 2023, which will be really interesting to see. They're using the same kind of platform, obviously some minor adjustments and some software updates, but it'll be really cool to see how that kind of enters the world of sim racing. Will it be able to compete with titans of sim racing like iRacing and R Factor and Assetto Corsa? It'll be really interesting to find out.
Do you think we'll maybe see a little bit of that in Ball State's future? If you're just now joining, we did partner with Rahal Letterman Lanigan, and now we are being provided with 2 $5,000 scholarships for 2 future students to come and race here for Ball State.
Yeah, so as far as I know, currently my team pretty much uses iRacings, but now we're going to start implementing R Factor a little bit more. Not sure in what kind of sense, but once that IndyCar game comes out, we will be using that in a lot of collaboration with Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. So it'll be really interesting to see. And it looks here we got Christian going out to do some warm-ups. Probably going to take a couple different experimental approaches this time around. See, you know, where he can save some tires, see where he can kind of maybe brake earlier and let the car coast into that turn and save some of that brake heat up and save his tires for later in the race when it really matters and really being able to make up those positions. And you can see there on cold tires, it's like just driving on rails. Car likes to slip around a lot. He's got to get the heat in the tires. It takes about 2 laps on Indy road course to get those tires up to good operating temperatures. So let's see what kind of lap times he can put in during this time to see how his pace will match up later in the race. Yeah, especially right here, that Shield Cleanser's Honda, he's just driving that machine all the way up through here, absolutely committed into this really tight hairpin almost corner. He just commits all the way. He uses all the track. You see he's like up on the curb right there, all the way towards the edge of the track. Trying to get heat in those tires, going for his first flying lap, it looks like here. And I'll walk you through this here. So going into turn 1, 6th gear, you want to brake right around the 300 marker, shift down into first, hard right-hand turn, immediately up into second and a hard left turn. Got to clip that apex or else you're not going to get a good exit coming out of turn 3 and into turn 4. Then it's a quick blast down to turn 5 and 6, quick chicane, which is kind of an S-turn. You got to ride those curbs or you're going to slow down the car going on. So you got to take almost a straight line through there. Going into turn 7, similar braking zone, not as much speed, braking around the 250 mark. Taking that in first gear, using all the track on the right-hand side. Clip that apex on the inside turn. Here, two similar turns, just opposite directions. You can use all the track there. This part's flat out. Going into turn 12, really hard, kind of hairpin 90-degree turn. Brake down into first. Use all the track on the right-hand side and get that apex curb right there. Coming out of turn 13 and 14 for the blast up the main straight down to turn 1.
Really, really interesting to kind of hear your analysis. You're a very, very big racing fan. You've kind of, from what you've told me, you've grown up watching it. It's become kind of your lifestyle almost. And it's really cool to just hear like how much you know about it. You're giving me a lot of information that I didn't know. And I'm sure you're giving a lot of the viewers at home a lot of nice little insider tidbits, some information, just maybe some things that they can walk away with for the next time that we maybe see some more pro drivers coming into the esports center here at Ball State.
Yeah, absolutely. And like a lot of the technicality stuff that I'm talking about applies as well in real life. You know, finding that braking point, hitting that apex, which is the inside of the turn that gives you the most amount of speed through the corner. You know, it all applies in real life. So when they do go to Indianapolis for the Grand Prix, which typically takes place about 2 weeks before the Indy 500, you're going to see a lot of similar racing. Hopefully not as many collisions, but you know, then again, this is a sim game. They're doing this for fun. They're having a good time, figuring each other out. You know, trying to see, ooh, like, does he like to get a little defensive? Does he like to just kind of let me go? It's good strategy building for them to kind of look into how their opponents drive going into the first race at St. Petersburg later this month.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't really realize and think about there's different play styles when coming to racing, right? You can take like a more I don't want to use the word aggressive, but you can kind of take you're more willing to take the risk, or you can take a more defensive approach. You're comfortable where you are for the time being. Maybe try and wait for other people, capitalize on their mistakes instead.
Absolutely. Christian, he has a very bold driving style, and I think he gets that a lot from Formula 2, where you have to be really bold. Formula 2 is junior to Formula 1 series, so it's a very high level of racing. He kind of adopted that style because he's battling against some of the youngest, best drivers in the world before you can go into Formula 1 or INDYCAR, for example, like Callum Ilott. So it's really interesting to see the difference of driving styles between him and his teammate Jack Harvey. And it looks here that we got about 40 seconds until we get that.
Us in Discord, so this will be fun.
Looks like they're all in a Discord lobby, being able to listen to each other talk. So may be able to get some insider view there. Looks to me that we got Christian starting 5th place with Karam, Rosenquist, and Grosjean starting 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We got Jack Harvey starting 13th. Got a little bit of oscillation in that wheel. I think just has something to do with the game software being a little bit buggy. But I think once he got a... they're going to reset the game lobby, I believe, just to have a fresh... Sim software is very hard to run because it's a lot of server-based stuff. So, they're probably going to fresh restart on that so everybody's running smoothly in that race, because you have people driving from all over the world and all over the United States, so you want to have a really good connection. Yeah,
it's the beauty of esports, right? You can play with anybody, anywhere in the world. It's really cool with racing, right? We see a lot of drivers, not really many IndyCar drivers coming from the U.S., right? We've got I mean, we've got drivers here from Denmark and the UK. So it's really cool to just kind of see esports kind of bringing everybody together in a way it's safe, right? There's no risk of like driving like a sim racing rig, right? There's a lot of experimentation that comes with it as well. It's really, really interesting to see from my perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a very, very popular European sport, which has slowly started to, bleed into North America and the rest of the world. Many companies, many sim racing teams are European-based. So it's really interesting to see it coming to our home, Indiana, racing capital of the world, at IMS for this virtual INDYCAR-Motorsport Games Pro Challenge.
Yes, and if you are just joining, the Pro Challenge is a charity event that is being hosted where the top 3 drivers will earn rewards of $10,000, $8,000, and $5,000 to the charity of their choice. We talked a little bit about Jack's charity earlier at the start, but do you want to remind the viewers or inform the viewers that are just now joining what charity that Jack would be donating to?
Well, Jack has built a really cool and special relationship with the Children's Fair Play Fund. It's a organization based in Indianapolis on the north side, and it works in bringing kids with autism and disabilities, and helping them to integrate with society, which I think is really cool. Because everybody deserves the opportunity to have opportunities to do stuff. And he's developed a really relationship. You see him waving on screen to us right now. Really great guy. I had a chance to talk to him a couple different times. He's really passionate about his racing, and he's more, I think, really invested in this Fair Play Fund.
Yeah, it's really fun. It was really fun to just kind of sit in on their conversation, listen to them talk, right? You guys were talking about racing like you guys had known each other for years. I'm sitting on the side just kind of trying to pick up a little bit of information, but I really liked just kind of hearing the comparisons of like where you guys started. You were talking to Christian a little bit about kind of the first set of hardware that you guys had, right? You were comparing them, talking about how they're kind of old, they're a little outdated now, seeing these updated rigs. What kind of hardware does Ball State use that our drivers are currently using today?
Yeah, well, Ball State, we're currently using some really top-of-the-line Fanatec hardware. We're also using some really nice load cell pedals, which provides really accurate feedback to our feet to, whether that's tapping the brake or not. And it looks like, I can see on their screen, we're back up and running. We got about 50 seconds.
Race, so 20 minutes. You've got 50 seconds to press drive. Last race of the night. And yeah, hope you have a great time. Safe race, good entertainment, and yeah, we'll catch up afterwards, guys. Good race.
You heard it from there,
Jacob.
Heard that message from Race Control. Asking for a safe race. I think we're going to see a little bit serious more. Talk.
I think somebody's in trouble to.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what's going on, but we got some conversation between Jack Harvey.
I don't like George Lucas. Like you can't. Sorry, you can't. Like that's not how that goes.
Talking about George Lucas, I know Jack Harvey's a really big Marvel and Star Wars fan. Looks like this. We got our formation lap.
Thank you.
Jack Harvey will be starting 14th.
That mine? Oh, cool.
Right behind Santino Ferrucci.
Anything good?
And we got Christian Lundgaard starting 5th, and he will be behind Romain Grosjean, Felix Rosenquist, and David Middelhouse.
Yeah, we saw him and Romain Grosjean having a pretty early drama in that first heat race there. Really hoping to see a little bit of action, maybe a little bit of a rivalry forming during the race, right?
Right, and this is the race that really matters. So I think everybody's going to be a little bit more cautious, judging their overtaking opportunities a little bit better. And overall, I don't think we're going to see as much overtaking. I think we're going to see a lot of strategy and a lot of clean passing.
Hey, we can't be friends.
Because you said that you don't like Han Solo.
Talking about Star Wars there, Han Solo. I believe that's his favorite Star Wars character, and I don't blame him.
It's a great character. Very likable dude. Harrison Ford, always a fun guy to watch on screen.
Are you
Of course, we also have Jack Harvey, who's a fun guy to watch on screen as well. He's got a
Absolutely.
very bright personality,
Very
right?
bright. He brings a really refreshing personality and face
Yeah, I don't like it
to
either.
Ball State and to sim racing. So it's exciting to watch him. And looks like we're gonna start with Christian Lundgaard going into this first lap. He's got those heat in his tires. He's gonna be right on the back end of Romain Grosjean, ex-Formula One driver for Haas Motorsport. That's a United States team, and now he's with Andretti Motorsport in INDYCAR. He's got the inside line coming into this, so he's going to want to make sure that he's keeping that line, and he doesn't want to lose this drag race going down to the turn one. He's going to be right behind Romain Grosjean. And you can already see they're being a little bit more cautious as Romain Grosjean goes on the outside of Sage Karam, as Felix Rosenquist goes and takes a really aggressive inside line. Looks like Jack Harvey has had some issues dropping into P9, back to P10. I think he still gained positions. Looks like he recovered pretty well going into that. Christian getting tossed around a little bit by David Malukas. I apologize, I am butchering the last names of a lot of these drivers. Looks like Callum Eilot coming up from the inside. He's kind of lost a little bit of that momentum, but it's still the end of the first lap. We still got about 18 minutes and 50 seconds left in this race. Lots of opportunity. Looks like Jack's getting on the back end of Connor Daly. Let's see if he can make a move going in. I don't know if there's somebody on his inside or on his outside. I can't quite see it. It looks like he's getting knocked around a little bit. I can't tell who's back there. But let's see if somebody pops out, and somebody does pop out, and it's Santino Ferrucci and Alex Pillow get a little aggressive into turn one, and as Jack Harvey makes contact, sending all of them
out pretty well. Oops.
And like he said, it looked like it turned out pretty well for him,
penalty
making
for
up 2 positions, it looks like. It looks like he's going to have a little bit of a gap to the person behind, so he can kind of relax a little bit after that incident.
A lot of very early drama that we're seeing.
Absolutely.
Here. We were expecting maybe a little bit more cautious and stuff, but everybody's really wanting to get that charity, right? They want to get that money donated to their charity.
It looks like Christian's not going to let Callum Eilot go without a fight. I think he's going to be right up on him here within the next couple turns. Let's see if he can get that braking and that exit out into turn one to get that slipstream and to make that inside move. I don't know if he's going to be quite close enough. He may have a little bit of that draft to get a toe down the main straight. I don't think he's going to be able to get it, but we see cars ahead going for moves on the inside, so let's see how that plays out. Looks clean so far. Maybe some contact there up front ahead of Christian. Keeping it clean is really important in this stage of the race, and it looks like we have a car going off, and that's Romain Grosjean going slowly on the inside, making contact with Callum Eilot. Christian has a really big opportunity to make it here, and he goes, barely dodges Callum Eilot as Romain Grosjean makes it back on track safely, but Christian's going to have the in-strike. He's going to go on the outside. Very aggressive move here. Very bold move going on the outside, but he's going to be able to get that inside line going into the next turn and hopefully make that move stick.
Things could not have worked out any better for him in that situation.
I think there was a little bit... as he just gets punted off the track by Romain Grosjean. Hopefully he can recover that, and it looks like he'll be able to, but he's going to be dropping back to 7th place. That's really unfortunate. He just made 2 really great moves on that lap. Let's see how Jack's doing. Yep, Jack with a battle against VK. I think he's going to be close enough to hopefully get a slipstream as long as he gets a good exit on this turn.
Why did he do that?
Looks like he's got good lap time. He's 3/10 up on his previous lap. So let's take a look. 4/10.
Still
a little bit of
16 minutes.
And like you just heard him say, we still have 16 minutes left in this race, and we've already seen this much excitement. I think the drivers need to, lock in, keep their heads down, keep clean, and make clean overtakes, because at the rate that we're going, I'm not quite sure if some of these cars will make it to the end of the race. You see Christian Lundgaard back up with Callum Eilert and Roman Grosjean. Christian gets a good exit out of this turn going into turn 7. He may go for an inside move here, but that does compromise your position for the next turn, so I think he's going to back off and wait for that. As Callum Eilert gets a little bit of oversteer, but saves that, and I think he's going to be able to make that move stick and gain a position up into 6th. Still behind Roman Grosjean. Let's see if he can make this next couple of turns count to close that gap. Jump back here quickly to Jack Harvey real quick, see how he's doing. Don't know if we're going to get that.
Looks like
but
he's sitting still pretty comfortably in the 9th place.
Yep, it looks
definitely
like
not the worst place to be this early in the race. There's still plenty of time.
Absolutely.
To make a big push for that first place there.
He's got a little bit, and Christian looks like he's got a little bit of gap to Roman Grosjean, so he's going to have to, close that gap slowly if he wants to get that 5th place back. But also keep in mind that his tires still need to go another 14 minutes and 30 seconds in this race. And it looks like Harvey's in a battle with somebody. I can't quite see, but it looks like he's cooking it a little bit hot. Currently P9 gets a good exit. I think he's pulling away from whoever was behind him. You've seen him cook this a little bit too hot. Looks like he made a really good turn in there. Sets him up really nicely for this S's portion. Yeah, and you can see the difference between, Jack and Christian's driving style. Christian just really commits into those turns, while Jack takes a little bit more softer, smoother approach. Both paying off well for the drivers, up in the top 10 for both. Good position for both of them to be in. And you can see here, he's closed the gap slightly to Grosjean. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything here. Well, if he keeps up this pace, I think he may have him in the next lap or so.
Anything can happen, right? That's part of the game. Some things are completely out of your control, but these guys are very well prepared. They've spent hours upon hours, maybe even years. If you're talking about all the cumulative time that's added up, years of time spent practicing, making sure that everything goes according to plan in these races. And so far, so good. I don't want to jinx anything. There is a little bit of a casting curse that comes with esports. It's happened to me twice already, but I think things will be okay.
Yeah, he's got really good control over this car. I was talking to him earlier when he was setting up his settings in the race sim. Very particular on what he likes, but he makes it pay off. We don't see many mistakes from him unless he's under pressure. And typically that has something to do with car contact, which unfortunately, once you get that back end loose in an IndyCar, there's not a lot you can do to save it. You see here, he is closer this time coming up. I don't think he'll be quite close enough to make the move. Still looks like we have Jack Harvey in 9th place, but I think he's closing the gap to 8th place a little bit at a time. He's got a little bit of room to make up, but remember, we still got 12 minutes left in this race.
Both drivers in a very good spot, right? They're not, there's plenty of room to move up without needing to take super, super risky moves, right? It's a great place to be at this stage of the race.
It looks like Christian's closing in. Joseph Newgarden holding up Roman Grosjean just a little bit, which gives Christian the opportunity to close that gap even more. So we'll see what happens going into this front straight, coming out of turn 10s and 11, going into turn 12. We're going to see how these three handle this. All three, cooks it a little bit too much, but really good save by Christian Lundgaard.
Very quick reaction.
He's got great reaction times. I think he may have the slipstream, but remember, Roman Grosjean also has the slipstream off of Joseph Newgarden, so it kind of cancels itself out. And you see this a lot in the Indy 500. You see Roman Grosjean goes for a move on the inside of Joseph Newgarden, and it looks like he makes that stick pretty clean. And it looks like Joseph got held up a little bit too much there. So we'll let these guys sit for a bit. I think that we're going to see that for a little bit. And watching Jack Harvey race is really interesting, actually, because he doesn't have a lot of experience in sims. You see a lot of his behavior of what he would do, and we actually have news. Christian looks like he made up and passed Newgarden, and he's right on the tail of Roman Grosjean. Roman's feeling that pressure. You see the front end of his Andretti machine twitching around a little bit. It's not good for his tires to be outrunning Christian like this, so let's see how Christian reacts and can make this move hopefully stick coming up in the next few turns. And you see that calm look on Christian's face. He's locked in and dialed in. You see a little bit of twitch from Grosjean.
He's very good under pressure.
Doesn't quite have the slipstream for this. Yeah, and Grosjean, he's insanely quick around those last couple sectors, and he just kind of loses everybody. And I've seen that happen with a couple other drivers today. He does take a slightly different line, but let's get back to Jack Harvey real quick. And like I was saying earlier, as we see Marcus Ericsson coming up on his inside and going to make a clean pass on the straight. Those are the kind of passes I more expected for this race. And you can see him leaning into the car. And this is an actual characteristic of racing drivers, because these racing drivers, you know, undergo lateral G-forces, which is a lots of side force going in because of these cars, the amount of grip they have. So you can kind of see him getting a little bit of actual real-life IndyCar behavior of him leaning into turns, you know, subconsciously bracing his neck like he would in a real IndyCar. And we see a big battle up ahead of him. Let's see a lot of darting around there. Looks like everybody comes out clean there. I believe that's Marcus Ericsson. Looks like he is able to get the inside line. And let's go back to Christian. Still battling for that 4th place spot from Grosjean. Grosjean again just gets a really good exit out of that turn going into turn 1. I think if he wants to make this move stick, he's going to have to catch him up in the midfield somewhere.
If you had to guess, where do you think you would be most likely to get that overtake?
Well, it looks to me like Christian is faster through turns 4, 5, and 6, and 8 and 9. So he's got to be able to close that gap and keep that time down and keep that gap down going into turn 12, 13, and 14. As you can see, a little bit of twitch from him. He's able to recover really well. He lost a little bit of time to Roman Grosjean. Let's see if he can make some of that time back up. Yeah, right here, it seems to me that Christian is a little bit faster as Jack Harvey goes off track, dropping back down to 11th place. I don't know what quite happened there.
This race is never ending.
Let's see if we can maybe get news what happened as we see Marcus Ericsson jump back up into that 11th place spot, and Jack dropping back into 11th. He has a good opportunity to make this position back up. If he can keep it clean and be a little bit quicker, looks like he's a little bit quicker. He's just got to stay off those curbs because those will scrub off a lot of speed.
What? We're mates.
It's fun being able to listen in on the comms, right? They're so good at what they do. Everything comes so natural to them. They can really they're able to just hold a conversation during a race, right?
I'm surprised I didn't get a penalty.
Looking here.
Might be too far back.
Got a good draft here. I don't think he might quite be able to make the move. And it's just really interesting to see, you know, these guys having a good time. You know, it's not a real race, so I guess they're not necessarily as locked in as they would be for like a real race. But it's still cool to see, you know, just like the raw skill that these guys have. I mean, the track today was released at only 9 o'clock this morning, so they've only had since 9 a.m. to prepare to drive this track with this car for the first time.
And for them, most of today was spent, you know, getting engaged with the media. Everybody at Ball State's excited for this partnership, right?
Yeah.
A really, really big opportunity to see 2 pro drivers come in and race
Absolutely.
here.
And I mean, I think each of them only had about an hour of practice before, which is less than they would get in a typical IndyCar weekend. And look here, he's getting a little bit closer to Grosjean. I don't think he'll quite be able to make it here. but let's keep that momentum up, and hopefully he'll be able to make a move here. We have 5 minutes, just under 6 minutes left in this race. Gets a little bit of better line out of there than Grosjean. Grosjean's tires seem to start to be wearing off. You see that kind of slide coming from the back end of his car. He's got to wrestle that car back into shape. And it looks like Christian's tires are doing really well. He's keeping them kind of, saving them for the end of the race. As Grosjean makes a big mistake there, and they're going side by side through these S turns. Go maybe for the over-under. I don't think he's going to be able to stick that. But now Christian has a big opportunity here to get him on that main straight. That closed the gap, I'd say, almost by 3 or 4 tenths of a second.
Everything's really coming down to the wire, right? We're down to that final 5 minutes. Here's where everybody's going to start to make those kind of final pushes, right?
Absolutely.
Really hoping to see either one of these drivers finish in the top 3 spot. I mean,
yeah, and
Lundgaard's got very good chances. 5th place is a great place to be with this amount of time left.
And he's still got 2 places up to make up. He wants that charity money to donate to the charity of his choosing. He's going to be battling hard for that because it's for a good cause, and he's mentioned to us that he's really invested and wants to do this and to donate to a charity. We didn't quite get the charity name of what he was doing, but he sounded really excited to us when he was talking to us about it. See a little bit of oversteer there. He's closing the gap little by little. He may be able to get Grosjean here if he decides to go for a really big move on the inside or outside. I don't think he'll quite do it this lap, which is a smart move. You don't want to cook the tires and lock up those brakes. You'll go sliding right off the track. Grosjean touching the grass a little bit here and there, using all the track available, trying to keep Christian behind. And you can tell he's under pressure. He is taking corners really, really tight, getting into the grass, braking super late. He's burning those tires up to stay ahead of Christian Lundgaard.
Just very, very slowly, inch by inch,
it looks like they both got a really good exit coming out of turn 14. Oh, as Christian gets a little bit wiggly there, but was able to save it, so I don't think he's going to be able to make this move. Really good save from Christian Lundgaard. See, back with Jack down in 12th. And I would say, honestly, this is a really good result for him considering, he doesn't do a lot of sim racing. He doesn't even have his headphones on. I'm sure he can still hear. I think he's having a good time.
Who's winning?
He's wondering who's winning. If you can hear me, Jack Rosenquist is in first place.
Is he getting ready to lap?
I don't believe so, Jack, but you are 60 seconds to the leader. Looks like we have a yellow in Sector 1. Let's see what's going on here. May just be somebody getting a quick little off track. I don't see anything coming out of turn 1 and 2. We'll jump over to Christian to see how he's doing. Right back where I thought he would be, right on the back of Roman Grosjean, coming out of turns 12, 13, going into turn 14. He's going to try to take another move and not send that car out against that wall like he did last lap. Ever so closer. And it's amazing to see, Christian Lundgaard, an IndyCar rookie, battling a second-year IndyCar driver. Roman Grosjean has had experience in Formula 1 at the highest level of motor racing, so it's really cool to see these guys battling it out. Roman Grosjean actually had a podium finish here last year at the Indianapolis Grand Prix. I believe he took 2nd place, which was really amazing to see. I was there, really cool to see. And I believe he started pole on that race too and finished 2nd, which is really cool to see, especially in your rookies. He looks like Christian cooked the brakes a little bit hard there, was able to recover. We got just under a minute and 30 seconds, so that's about, I'd say, another lap of this race. So Christian's got to be thinking, where can I make this overtake? Where can I be bold? Where do I need to back off? Coming around turn 13, going into that main straight into turn 1. You can see the tires starting to lighten up a little bit. That wheel getting a little loose in Christian's hands. on him ever so closely. Take a little bit of curb in there. I'm really invested in this. I'm really curious to see if he's going to make a move or not. We got just 30 seconds left in this race. You can see both of these drivers pushing to their absolute limits.
I just can't look away. My eyes are glued to the screen right
absolutely. Coming in to the S portion, the technical bit, where Christian has been quicker all day long. He's gaining ever so slightly to Roman Grosjean. Let's see how much he can make up in these next couple of turns going down to the drag race down into turn 1.
And as time does expire, everything's coming down to these last few turns, right?
Yep. And it looks like Grosjean gets a good exit, and I don't know if Christian's going to be able to make this as we see the checkered flag, but still an amazing result. 5th place for Christian Lundgaard, the IndyCar rookie racing for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing this year. Jack Harvey, I believe, let's check in on him, finishes 11th, which is a very strong result considering the fact of his sim racing experience. He's got half a lap left.
What did you do?
Keeping it nice and clean through these last couple turns. Don't want to make any mistakes on your last lap.
Thank you.
Comes out of these last couple of turns, and it looks like he's got it. He will finish P11, which is a very good result, I'd say, for him. You can see he's kind of excited about that.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Finally.
And there we go. He crosses the finish line. Jack Harvey does finish in 11th place. And there you have it.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
It. The series, today's races are now completed. I mean, what did we like? What did you like the most about just today in general? It's a big day for us.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I could see, you know, Jack Harvey over there and Christian Lundgaard, 2 racing guys that I follow pretty closely. I had a lot of personal conversation with them, which is really cool to see and listen to them and listen to their perspectives on racing. And, you know, also kind of get an insight on their mentality when it comes to racing. So today, I love the boldness of these drivers. You know, they're not willing to, you know, let another person pass, you know, just off of technicality. They're going to fight that person until their last breath to get that position back, whether that's sending themselves into the wall or, you know, crashing another car off track. You know, not necessarily reflective of real IndyCar, but it just shows how competitive these guys are.
Right, and that is going to do it for us for this live stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We have a ton of people to thank. Thank you to Dean Turner. Thank you to Dan Marino. Thank you to Rahal Letterman Lanigan. Thank you for the whole team for helping out. Thank you to David Letterman. Thank you to, I'm running out of things, people to thank, but thank you to the media who came out. Thank you to everybody who took the time to come see this race, see this event. We're very excited for this partnership in the future, hoping to bring home some big trophies for Ball State University. But that's going to do it for us. I've been Luke Marble. This has been Evan Puckett, and you guys have a great night.